Hello. I was listening channel 124 today. I have listened a man who's IDF intelligence, military intelligence chief. And he was talking about the war and after the war and the intention of Israel, all the situation. The reason they are held in it, the aid. This man, the intelligence, chief intelligence of the military of Israel, is saying it. Hamas is helping a daytime because he was asked the questions and his answers is only the one, so you would understand from the question by the answer that he gave that I'm passing to you. He said daytime Hamas is helping for the aid support. That is why Palestinians don't hate, and they are not gonna hate and what they call Hamas. Daytime they are serving the aid, at night they are warmongers. That is the reason Israel is saying there is no any aid going to north of Gaza. This man, he said, the place that we finished Hamas and we left, he means the north of Gaza, already Hamas is in holding, and that Israel have to think about what they're gonna do about that. That Hamas will not come back to that area, the areas that we leave after we finish with them. The second thing the man said was after in the war, what is gonna happen, who is gonna rule Gaza, and why this war has been done in the first place. He's saying that Israel will never agree for two-state. That is why they are taking all this time, and that's why they are settling, doing the settlement in West Bank, and then they were also wishing to do in Gaza, because they don't want any government or any state of Palestine. The public of Israel would not allow that, and the government of Israel would not think about that. We are not allowed them to do that kind of thought. And the other thing that man said, that when they were invading, the way they invade, he was talking about the invasion. He said, why you invade these people if they are coming back to Gaza? Why did you allow them to move out of the areas that they've been living? He said we were afraid that another October 7 happens to our army, that our army will be kidnapped. But in the in the first 3 days of the invasion, not only they lost a big time for the guerrilla fight and the what they call the blow that they received from Hamas, and what happened? There were so many soldiers had been what they call taken hostage from Israel to Hamas, including there was the whole the army, they go like unit, one unit, complete unit, which is American soldiers, including the general who was leading the army, had been captured by Hamas. So what they were afraid was that type of escalation happens there. They were so scared to invade. Anyway, that's what the way he put it there. That's the reason that they asked the people to live there. That is the reason they were using the sea and land and to support the army. If the army is not fit enough to handle few boys, why they have to invade in the first place. The unimaginable, the world classic army. They couldn't handle for few boys of Gaza. In cage. They're in cage. Concentrate, calm. They couldn't handle it. They were scared from that. That's why they were waiting for 3 weeks. Just this, only from air to be bombarded Gaza, to destroy all that. Because this devastation, the reporter that asked this intelligent man, he said, this devastation, who is going to fix it? That is about the negotiation, what they are doing now, so that Israel would not do that. Since the Israelis are almost collapsing with the finance from the war, he said they cannot pay the rebuilding. First, they don't want to pay for the rebuilding of Gaza. They demolished because they were scared their army to go in a guerrilla fight. They don't want Palestinian states, but they had to do. What's wrong with their mind? The way he proudly describing that we are not going to allow a state for Palestine. We don't want Hamas to control Gaza. We don't want any Palestinian government. But at the same time, we're worrying our security. It doesn't go together. The other thing the man said, the other thing that he said was how we can get the hostages back. And then this intelligent man, chief, responded. He said, for only negotiation. So if they are gonna get only negotiation for the hostages, why fight? Civilians are not the one holding the hostages. The reason they are collecting all these men, displaced men, because in their mind, they are thinking they're all Hamas, acting civilians daytime and sleep fighting at night. But when they collected all these civilian men, the one they were displaying, you remember, maybe you saw on the media, naked, taking out of their clothes and everything. When they were collecting, they were saying they collected Hamas. That is how they believed. That's what they pass into us. Even though they know that they're displaced people, with the doctors, with the students, everything, because there is nothing that Israel doesn't know in that city. They were colonizing. Of course, they were colonizing. They're the one who gave the IDs. They know who is a doctor, who is a professor, who is a teacher, who is a student. They already know from their ID cards. That provided by Israel. So after they collect all this man, they took with them, half of it is the one being found massacred while they tied their hands behind their back in Gaza, North Gaza, after they left. The rest they have is still in held it. But Hamas is still fighting. If that was becoming a night Hamas, a day civilian, since they collected, who is fighting now? The Angeles? These people are so naive. The arrogance, this support from the West giving them that we stand beside you, we are with you, you are right to defend yourself. This blindfolded them. Their mind is not functioning at all. They don't say what, they don't know what they are saying at all. What they're saying and the way they're behaving, it does not, it's not a good combination at all. It doesn't combine. They feel They were saying, why Hamas, the Palestinians don't hate Hamas. The reason they're killing this much people, they think that Palestinians will turn against Hamas. But it's not Hamas who's bombarding with from air. It's not Hamas, the one who's bulldozing people who's alive, injured, waiting in front of the hospital people or to be treated, or their family in the hospital. They've been bulldozed alive. It is them who bulldoze it, all the graves. It is them who are digging the graves, taking the bodies of the people and then bringing back nameless. While all had been completely ruined, you can't differentiate it, who is who. The family of those bodies, they don't know who their loved one is. 80 people, 100 people, they bring back after the body, the crops are ruined. The crops are ruined. It is them who is creating this much hate. Killing the dog, the donkey, the pregnant woman, the old man, the old lady, the child. They are not sparing any life. They could kill the birds flying over Gaza if they can. At the same time, in their mind, they think it is all to do with Hamas. Exactly the way they are passing on the media, that is how they feel. How sick can be that? How sick can these people are? The arrogance blindfold them. Then they don't think that we create this hate. We are not going to be safe in this way. They don't think that way. Mr. Chief Intelligence of IDF military is saying negotiation is the only way we can rescue our hostages. But we want to get all our hostages, and we cannot give back all the hostages back from the other side of, Palestinian hostages. We cannot give them all. They can't satisfy them. We have to inhale them. In 1967, the people stood up for the uprising who died in the war, 1967. Their body had been arrested. The dead people had been arrested, haven't been buried. They're in somewhere in a freezer, which inside the jail. They are arrested. They've been arrested 200 years. Their body has to be in the jail freezer for 200 years. How inhumane they behave, they don't see it. They think it is Hamas who create all this. They don't think it is their own doings by taking hostages day in and day out. Even they don't leave children behind. I have seen about a 3-year-old toddler being arrested, and they're pulling from their parents and saying, we will arrest you. We will arrest. Young girl. And they think they are making it all Palestinian to hate Hamas. Hamas is ideology. This Hamas is ideology. It's not the people who's fighting. The young people who is resisting, they are the family. They didn't fall from the sky. I don't get it. Anyway, what he was saying is there is no state, Palestine, ever. For Palestine, ever. There is no government for Palestine, ever. That is the reason they created Hamas in the first place, to undermine the government of Palestine in West Bank, the PLO, or Fatah, whoever they are. And he was saying, getting back our hostages is just by negotiation. Whoever we are killing, we are just decreasing the number of the Palestinians who live in Gaza. They are decreasing, that's all. And the other thing, we are not giving aid because the aid is serving by the youth in the state of somebody else. And the other thing they're saying, we don't know why Arab people are not taking. All that bullshit we listened already. But the one good thing that he said was the negotiation table is at different places. So each person will increase another idea so it would not be solved the matter very quickly. Because one time it's in Qatar, the other time in Egypt, now in France, all those different places, there are different people with different ideas. The negotiation that was on there yesterday on the table, tomorrow is not going to be there. So because of that, that confusion makes the war take long time, and we are crumbling with a lack of finance because the war took so much we were not expecting. The other thing that he was asking was, what about Hezbollah? He said he's dreaming. Hezbollah is not ready to fight now. He cannot stand up for us, and then he has to move back farther inside Lebanon so that our people who migrated from the north can go back in there. They go back to their houses, because those people, they've been hired a hotel from Israeli government, so they spending a lot of money for what they call hospitality of those people. It's costing them. Israel are children. They still have got a mind of children. And they're not war people. God didn't design them that way. You know, human being, it's been decided different ways by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are some people who been just created to be a leader. And there are some people who are being created to be a fighter. There are some people who've been created, they're very good on doing business and the trade and negotiations. Negotiation, anyone cannot do. There are some people, specialists for that, because God created for them so that we can live. There is a job that you cannot stand 5 minutes, but somebody else enjoys for their rest of life to do it. That kind of the different identity that we have, that is what makes this world beautiful, so that we can all be doing the job that we love to do. Israel is not being created, Jewish is not being created to be a fighter. They being created to be a manipulative. They're good on business, and they're good on negotiations, and they're good of savings. No, they're not good for negotiation. They're good for saving. If they're good for negotiation and making decision or taking decision, because negotiation comes making decisions and taking also decisions. They are not that type. Otherwise, when they be rescued from Pharaoh, Musa alayhi salam, they wouldn't reject. My cousins had been sent 350, out of 350, what they call prophets, directly to them, except one. Only Muhammad, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, wasn't sent to them. The rest they've been sent to them. Always rejecting things. Very stubborn. So they are not good for negotiation. They will never know. And they will never take back something they've been told, even if it's good for them. They will never accept it. That is how they've been all in their life. And this war, they will never go back by telling somebody, Israel, you are in the wrong. Stop this war. They will never say okay. Even if they're dooming themselves down, they will never say it's okay unless they've been forced to do so. Thank you very much.